Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. General Hospital has been keeping us on the edge of our seats lately, hasn't it? I have to tell you, my mind has been spinning like a top over the latest developments in Port Charles. We've seen a lot of faces come and go over the years, but every now and then someone wanders into town and just stirs up a whole hornet's nest of questions. That is exactly what is happening right now with this mysterious young man named Hudson. When I first saw him, I just knew in my bones that there was more to his story than meets the eye. You know how it is when you get that funny feeling in your gut? Well, my intuition is telling me that this boy is carrying secrets that could shake up some of our favorite families, and I am just itching to unpack all of these wild theories with you today. The biggest rumor floating around town, and goodness gracious, it is a juicy one, is that Hudson has a secret, deep-rooted connection to the Jacks family. Now, whenever the name Jax is mentioned, my ears perk right up like a hound dog hearing a whistle. Some folks are whispering that Hudson might actually be the son of our beloved Jasper Jax, or heaven help us, the son of his wicked brother Jerry Jax. Just thinking about either possibility gives me goosebumps. The way Hudson has been interacting with Jocelyn lately has raised so many red flags, you would think we were at a parade. He did not just come to Port Charles for the scenery. That much is certain. There is a purpose to his visit, and I firmly believe it is tied directly to the legacy of those handsome, complicated Australian brothers who have caused so much joy and heartache over the years. Let us just take a moment to think about Jasper Jax. Oh, how we have missed that charming smile and those sharp business suits. Jax was always the kind of man who commanded a room the second he walked into it. If Hudson truly is Jax's son, it would explain why the boy carries himself with such unearned confidence. But it also breaks my heart to think that Jax could have a child out there that he either kept hidden from us, or worse, a child he sent to Port Charles to handle his business without even giving Jocelyn a proper heads up. Jax has always been fiercely protective of his daughter. It just does not sit right with my spirit to imagine him sending a total stranger to deal with her, especially when it involves his massive billion-dollar empire. You do not just hand over the keys to the kingdom to a greenhorn without a very good reason. On the other hand, what if Hudson is Jerry's boy? Lord have mercy. That thought alone is enough to make me want to clutch my pearls. We all know that Jerry Jax is nothing but a walking, talking thunderstorm of trouble. Every time that man came to town, he left a trail of tears and destruction a mile wide. If Hudson shares Jerry's blood, then Port Charles better batten down the hatches. A son of Jerry would be cunning, manipulative, and completely unpredictable. When I watch Hudson closely, I try to see which brother he takes after. Does he have Jax's noble, albeit sometimes misguided heart? Or does he have that dark, dangerous twinkle in his eye that Jerry always had right before he did something awful? It is a mystery that has me glued to my screen, just waiting for the other shoe to drop. The thing that really gets my goat in all of this is the way Hudson is treating Jocelyn. He waltzed right into her life and had the absolute audacity to tell her that she would not be able to reach Jax by phone. Well, I declare that is the most ridiculous thing I have heard all week. We are living in a modern world, and Jasper Jax is a billionaire with resources that most of us can only dream of. The idea that he is simply unreachable by a simple phone call is slower than molasses in winter. It is a bold-faced lie, or at the very least, a very troubling half-truth. When Hudson said that, my warning bells started ringing so loud I could hardly hear myself think. Why would Jax be completely cut off from the world? And why would Hudson be the one delivering this highly suspicious message? I just cannot help but feel a deep sense of dread about this whole situation with the phone. If Jax truly cannot be reached, does that mean he is in some sort of terrible danger? Or is Hudson playing a wicked game, isolating Jocelyn from her father so he can manipulate her? It makes me so anxious for our sweet Jocelyn. She has been through the ringer enough times in her young life, and she does not need a mysterious young man playing mind games with her. A father like Jax would move heaven and earth to be available for his little girl. So if his phone is off, someone either forced it off, or Hudson is spinning a web of lies to keep Jocelyn in the dark. It is a classic smoke and mirrors routine, and I am just praying that Jocelyn sees right through it before she gets hurt. Thankfully, I have a lot of faith in Jocelyn. That girl has the fiery spirit of her mother and the stubborn determination of her father. She is no shrinking violet who is just going to nod her head and accept whatever story this boy feeds her. I truly hope that with her sharp mind, she starts to realize that there are simply too many red flags waving in her face. Hudson expects her to just blindly trust him with her family's legacy, but Jocelyn is far too smart for that. She knows that in Port Charles, you have to look underneath every rock because you never know what kind of snake might be hiding there. I am eagerly waiting for the moment when she puts her foot down and demands the real truth from this boy. Furthermore, we all know that Jocelyn has some very powerful connections these days. She is tied in with the WSB, and those folks do not mess around. They have the technology and the reach to find absolutely anyone, anywhere in the world. I was just thinking about this the other day while watering my hydrangeas. Remember when Jack Brennan managed to track down Sidwell's hidden compound using a satellite? He was able to pinpoint a location halfway across the globe and send a bomb right to their doorstep. If the WSB can do all of that, you mean to tell me they cannot track a simple cell phone signal for Jasper Jacks? It just does not make a lick of sense. Jocelyn has the tools at her disposal to uncover exactly where her father is and what Hudson is really up to. It is incredibly frustrating when people try to pull the wool over our eyes with flimsy excuses. Jocelyn needs to pick up the phone, call in her favors, and get the WSB on the case immediately. If she does not have the direct authority to launch a global search, we all know that Jack Brennan certainly does. It would be a piece of cake for them to run a trace and figure out if Jax is sitting on a beach somewhere or if he is locked in a basement. The fact that Hudson thinks he can just brush Jocelyn off with a casual excuse shows that he severely underestimates the young woman he is dealing with. He might think he holds all the cards, but he has no idea what kind of firecracker he has just tried to light. Now, I have been talking with a lot of my friends who watch the show, and I have read what folks are saying in our online sewing circles, and there is a lot of frustration out there. Many people feel like bringing in a brand new character like Hudson is a bit of a misstep. I have to admit, I understand where they are coming from. We already have a town full of wonderful, complex characters who sometimes struggle to get the screen time they deserve. Why bring in a stranger to stir the pot when we have so much unfinished business with the folks we already know and love? Some people are even worried that introducing Hudson is the writer's way of telling us that Jax is never coming back and that they are just trying to replace him with a younger version. Oh, I sincerely hope that is not the case. It is a valid concern, though. It is hard to invest your heart into a new face when you are still mourning the absence of an old favorite. But I am trying to look on the bright side. What if this entire confusing storyline with Hudson is actually a grand, winding dirt road that eventually leads Jasper Jacks right back to Port Charles? Just imagine the drama. Jax bursting through the doors, demanding to know why this boy is meddling in his daughter's life. It would be a moment for the history books. I would jump right off my sofa and cheer. The possibility that this mystery is setting the stage for a massive return is the main thing keeping me hooked on Hudson's every move. We also cannot ignore the possibility that Jerry Jax is pulling the strings from the shadows. Is Jerry even still alive? With that man, you can never truly be sure. He has more lives than a barn cat. If Jerry is alive and using Hudson to infiltrate Jax's empire and manipulate Jocelyn, it would be the ultimate betrayal. It would force Jax to come out of hiding to protect his family. The more I think about it, the more I realize that Hudson is just a pawn in a much larger, much more dangerous game of chess. And whoever is moving the pieces, whether it is Jax, Jerry, or someone else entirely, is going to have a lot of explaining to do when the truth finally comes out in the wash. I am so glad I got to sit down and share all these swirling thoughts with you today. It always makes my heart feel so full to connect over these stories that we hold so dear. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies, because I have a feeling the drama in Port Charles is only going to get hotter as the summer rolls on. Let us all hope for Jax's safe return and pray that Jocelyn uncovers the truth before it is too late. Until next time, keep taking good care of yourselves and keep enjoying the wonderful wild ride that is our favorite show.